A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms just dropped, and if you thought this was just another Game of Thrones spin-off, think again. This is the origin story of one of Westeros' greatest knights, Ser Duncan the Tall. And yes, Brian of Tarth is his descendant. Welcome back to the channel, and this is your breakdown of episode 1, The Hedge Knight. So the question is, what is a Hedge Knight? The title tells you everything. A Hedge Knight is a wandering warrior with no land, no lord, and held together by rope. This is peak Westerosi underdog energy. But here's the kicker. We sound familiar? Well, it's the same desperation Brian had, proving yourself when the world doubts you. And now let's talk about the timeline and the dragons. This is set roughly 90 years before the original Game of Thrones, decades after the last dragon died. King Daeron II rules, but the Targaryens are vulnerable without their fire-breathing weapons. The Blackfire rebellions, the brutal civil wars, just ended, with pretenders stealing the Valyrian steel sword Blackfire itself. The realm is exhausted, and that's the world Dunk is trying to survive in. At a roadside inn, Dunk meets a bold kid he assumes is a stable boy, Egg. But Egg is sharp, well-educated, and calls out Dunk's knighthood lie immediately. Despite this, he begs to become Dunk's squire. Here's the secret. Egg is Aegon Targaryen, Prince Maker's son, traveling incognito. He'll eventually become King Aegon V. This is one of the most important friendships in Westerosi history, and it starts kind. At the same inn, a drunk man pays with the Targaryen coin and mutters about dragon dreams. That's Daeron the Drunken, Egg's older brother who has prophetic visions like Helena from House of the Dragon. He's foreshadowing Dunk's future, possibly even the tragedy at Summerhall. Dunk arrives at the Ashford tourney, hoping to win glory, ransom prizes, and land a job with a great house. The rules are brutal. Losers forfeit their horses and armor if they can't pay ransom. Dunk has nothing to lose because he already has nothing. He needs a sponsor to vouch for him. He tries Manfred Dondarrion, whose father Sir Alan once served, but gets rejected hard. Then he crashes Lionel Baratheon's feast pavilion. Lionel, ancestor to Robert Baratheon, is massive, loud, and fun-loving. After a hilarious dance-off where Lionel crowns Dunk with antlers, they become friends. But Dunk still needs that sponsor. Since Dunk can't use Sir Arlan's coat of arms, no blood relation, so he needs his own. He and Egg spot a falling star one night, and boom, inspiration. Dunk adopts a shooting star and elm tree as his sigil. Fast forward centuries, and Brian of Truth uses his exact coat of arms when traveling incognito in the main series. Why? Because Dunk's armor ended up in her family's treasure on Tarth. She's his descendant. Even Joffrey mentions Dunk in the White Book of the Kingsguard.
Ser Duncan the Tall. 4 pages for Ser Duncan. Must have been quite a man.
This show is literally the origin of one of the greatest knights in Westerosi history. And why this matters? Well, George Martin wrote these novellas while developing Brian's backstory, and the show is insanely book accurate, more faithful than recent House of the Dragon adaptations. And episode 1 rips pages straight from the Hedge Knight novella. The dialogue, the relationships, everything is spot on. So this is a tournament arc in the Game of Thrones universe. We are getting jests, trials by combat, political intrigue, and the birth of a legend. If you loved Brian's knighting scene in Season 8's A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms episode, yes, that title is a direct homage. You need to see where it all began. Westeros needed. I'm John, and I will see you in the next one.